Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and realized your dog is curled up right beside you, breathing slowly, completely at peace? Maybe their head is resting against your leg. Maybe their paws are touching your arm, almost like they're making sure you're still there. And if you've ever wondered why your dog insists on sleeping with you every single night, the answer is far more emotional than most people realize. Because for many dogs, sleeping beside their human isn't just about comfort, it's communication. Dogs don't speak with words the way we do. Instead, they use small behaviors, quiet habits, and subtle routines to tell us what they feel. And nighttime, when the world becomes quiet and vulnerable, is when those emotions reveal themselves the most. But here's the surprising part. Many dog owners completely misunderstand what this behavior means. Some people think their dog sleeps beside them simply because the bed is warmer. Others assume it's just a habit that formed over time. Yet dog psychologists have long noticed that nighttime behavior often reveals the deepest layer of a dog's emotional bond with their human. And one of the behaviors later in this video surprises most dog owners because it shows just how much your dog silently protects you while you sleep. But first, think about this moment. You lie down, turn off the lights, and within minutes your dog jumps onto the bed or curls up nearby. Sometimes they spin in a small circle before settling down. That small circle is not random. It's an ancient instinct passed down from wild ancestors. Wolves used to circle their sleeping area to flatten grass, check their surroundings, and make sure their resting place was safe. When your dog spins before lying down near you, they are doing something similar. They're preparing a safe resting space next to the person they trust most. And that trust is deeper than many people realize. Another thing dog owners often notice is how their dog chooses a specific spot beside them. Maybe they sleep at your feet, maybe they rest along your side. Or maybe they insist on placing their head directly on your chest or arm. Dogs choose these positions carefully. Sleeping at your feet often means your dog feels responsible for guarding the area. In their mind, they are protecting the entrance of your shared den. Sleeping along your side usually signals comfort and emotional closeness. But when a dog rests their head on your chest or arm, something even deeper may be happening. They're listening. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to rhythm, especially heartbeats and breathing. These rhythms calm them because they remind them of the early days of puppyhood when they slept beside their mother and siblings. Your heartbeat becomes a signal of safety. And in that moment, your dog isn't just sleeping beside you. They're reconnecting with the feeling of belonging to a family. But not every nighttime behavior is peaceful. Sometimes your dog suddenly wakes up and moves closer to you. Maybe they press their body against your back or push gently against your legs. To many owners, this feels random. But often, dogs do this when they sense a shift in their environment. Dogs hear and smell things long before humans notice them. A distant noise outside, a subtle sound in the house, even the movement of air through a window. By moving closer to you, your dog is doing something instinctive. They're protecting their pack. And yes, in your dog's mind, you are their pack. Now here's where things become even more fascinating. Some dogs don't just sleep beside their owners, they refuse to sleep anywhere else. You might buy them a comfortable dog bed, place it near your room, and yet every night they quietly walk back to your side. Many people think this is stubbornness. But for dogs, nighttime separation can feel deeply unsettling. Dogs are social sleepers. In the wild, wolves sleep together not just for warmth but for security and emotional reassurance. When your dog chooses to sleep beside you, they're following this ancient instinct. They're saying something simple but powerful. I feel safest when I'm close to you. And one of the behaviors we'll talk about later in this video reveals just how aware your dog is of your emotions, even while you sleep. But before we reach that surprising behavior, there's something important many dog owners overlook. Have you ever noticed how your dog sometimes sighs deeply when they finally settle beside you? That slow, heavy sigh, it's not boredom, it's relief. Dogs release that sigh when tension leaves their body. It's the moment they fully relax because they believe the environment is safe. And if you're enjoying learning these hidden emotional signals from your dog, take a moment to like this video. Because understanding these quiet behaviors can completely change the way you see your relationship with your dog. And what happens next during the night reveals an even deeper emotional truth. Sometimes in the quiet hours while you sleep, your dog wakes up. They lift their head, look at you, and then quietly adjust their position closer to your body. Most owners never notice this moment, but dog researchers studying nighttime behavior have observed it many times. And the reason behind it reveals something truly touching, because your dog isn't just sleeping beside you, they're watching over you, and what that means about your bond becomes even clearer in the second half of this story. Because one specific sleeping habit, one that many owners find slightly annoying, actually reveals one of the strongest emotional connections a dog can feel. And once you understand it, you may never see your dog's nighttime behavior the same way again. Earlier, we talked about the quiet ways dogs communicate while they sleep beside us. The small movements, the careful positions, the instinct to stay close during the most vulnerable hours of the night. But there's one behavior many dog owners notice that often gets misunderstood. And strangely enough, it can sometimes wake you up in the middle of the night. Your dog stretches out and slowly pushes you toward the edge of the bed. At first, it might seem like your dog is simply taking over your space. Some owners even laugh and say their dog thinks they own the bed, but the psychology behind this behavior is much more emotional than people expect. Dogs often stretch out or lean into their human during sleep because physical contact reassures them. Just like puppies sleep pressed together in a pile for comfort, adult dogs often seek that same sense of closeness with the person they trust most. When your dog stretches into your space, they're not trying to dominate the bed, they're trying to maintain contact. That gentle pressure of body against body tells them something important. My human is still here. And for dogs with especially strong emotional bonds, even a few inches of separation can make them restless. This is why some dogs will slowly scoot closer during the night. They drift toward the warmth, the scent, and the presence that makes them feel secure. But there's another fascinating behavior that many owners don't realize carries deep meaning. Sometimes your dog suddenly changes sleeping positions when you move. Maybe you roll over and within seconds your dog adjusts too. It almost feels like they're synchronized with you, and in many ways they are. Dogs are incredibly tuned into the body language and movements of their humans. Even while sleeping, their brains remain partially alert to your presence. This ability developed through thousands of years of living beside humans. Dogs learn to monitor their human companions even during rest. If their human moves, they respond. If their human wakes, they notice. If their human shows signs of stress or discomfort, they often move closer. And this leads to one of the most surprising nighttime behaviors of all. Some dogs instinctively place themselves between their owner and the door. Not every dog does this, but for those who do, it reveals something remarkable. Your dog may see themselves as your nighttime protector. In their mind, they are positioning themselves between you and the outside world. Even in sleep, their instincts remain active. They listen for unfamiliar sounds, they track movement, they monitor the environment while their pack rests. This doesn't mean your dog is anxious or constantly on guard. Instead, it reflects a deeply rooted instinct to watch over their family. And when that family includes you, their sleeping position becomes part of that quiet responsibility. But perhaps the most emotional behavior of all happens during moments when you are upset. Many owners have experienced this without realizing its full meaning. You have a stressful day, you feel anxious or sad. That night, your dog seems unusually close. Maybe they rest their head on your arm, maybe they curl tightly against your chest, or they simply refuse to leave your side. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human emotional changes. They can detect subtle differences in scent caused by stress hormones. They can hear shifts in breathing patterns. They can read the smallest changes in body tension. When your dog sleeps closer to you during those times, they may be responding to something you didn't even realize you were showing. They sense the emotional state of their human. And their instinct is simple: stay close, offer presence, provide comfort. This quiet empathy is one of the most beautiful parts of the human-dog bond. Your dog may not understand your problems, but they understand that you matter. And sometimes just lying beside you through the night is their way of saying that you're not alone. So the next time your dog curls up beside you before falling asleep, remember something important. That moment isn't random, it's a language. A language built from trust, instinct, and emotional connection that has existed between dogs and humans for thousands of years. Your dog isn't just choosing a comfortable place to sleep. They're choosing you every single night. They're choosing your scent, your presence, your heartbeat, your quiet companionship in the darkness. And once you begin to notice these subtle behaviors, something remarkable happens. You start to see your dog differently, not just as a pet who shares your home, but as a companion who quietly expresses loyalty, comfort, and protection in ways words could never capture. If this story made you see your dog in a new way, there's another fascinating behavior many owners misunderstand. It's the moment when dogs follow their owners from room to room, and what that actually reveals about their emotional world. And once you understand it, you may discover an even deeper side of your dog's loyalty.